Appreciate it. All right, this is Romans 15:4. That's where we started, and the reason why we use this for those watching, listen in, because we want to try to establish a foundation before we do anything. Before we build, isn't that right? I want to make sure we establish us a foundation. It's what we use all the time, and it's me. I don't mean everybody got to do it, but for me, I like to make sure I'm a builder by trade, so I definitely want to make sure we establish a foundation. All right, listen.
For whatever Nikatah before.
So for whatever was written before,
Nikatah Alam.
to what was written for, the teachers, to show us and to instruct us. It's very important that we understand that when we're going through, there's a purpose to everything we're doing to come down to the letter. We start to read, and so we get an understanding. Go ahead.
So that through endurance,
going through without quitting,
and through the Nakum of the
the comfort of the writings,
we might have teeth.
That's a lot. The writings do a lot for us. Things that we never even doing, but then again, you have to look at what's a person's purpose. Is it so you can fool and mesmerize people, or is it so that you can create a relationship? For me, I want to create a relationship. I'm not in the business of trying to see who I can mesmerize or who I can fool with reciting. I want to make sure I understand. So sometimes when we read or we read something, I might ask you guys something. I might, humorously ask you to put a check up there or whatever, but it's to see, how do you actually see this? What's your understanding about it? Because you can read it, and the power is actually an understanding. These words alone are not enough to keep you. There's not a word that you'll read in this book that you can't look up in a dictionary. A lot of these words, they just put in a different phrase, different setting. All these words individually can be found inside of a dictionary, because you can look them up. You won't look. The only way you won't find them will be because it will be a newer dictionary and word usage, and because the word isn't being used anymore, then they'll delete it from repeating, putting it inside of a dictionary. But basically, all these words can be looked up in the dictionary. So the concept is the way he puts them together. He composites them, put them together. And then the understanding of them. It gives us the ability to be able to break away from Kataim without any physical fightings. I don't have to physically get up and make care of my fight. That me and him got to fall over and tear up things. The word in itself gives me the understanding, gives me the ability, gives me the will, gives me the desire to overcome and fight the things that cause me to go against Alahym. Y'all understand that? And that's what I look for. I'm looking for something that can keep me to where if he tells me to do something, I can do that. I don't have to fight it. I don't have to argue with him and say it's stupid, it don't make sense, it's not rational. It all makes sense because what I'm trying to obtain. If you're trying to obtain it and you're bringing other things with you, and those things are more your love, then it's going to be more of a struggle, more of a fight. What I suggest to everybody is put everything that he asks you to do up against moot. Everything he asks you to just put it up against moot. That's the other, okay? If he asks you to stand up and you say, I don't feel like standing up. It feel like dying. You got to put everything he tell you to do up against moot. Is whatever you don't feel like doing that he told you, is it worth you dying? Is it worth you being cut off from him? If you come into him, the purpose of coming to him is so you can obtain life. I want you to understand. The only purpose to come to him is to obtain life, okay? Without him is moot. You got it? And he showed us through him turning away his face, his pani. He showed us in that through him not responding when we call. Y'all got it? Just like any mother, she had a small child, an infant, she heard it crying. What do you say? I ain't gonna worry about it. You're gonna go and check on them. Even if you and you learn their routine and know they hungry, they're probably wet. You speculate based off of character, based off of behavior. So these are things we're trying to get him to do, to respond to us based off of behavior. Mm-hmm. That he know any cry that we make, it's an urgent cry. When I need you now. So it's important to formulate this relationship and get an understanding about what you're reading. Y'all got it?
Sure.
So, understanding how he does things versus how society does things. The way the world, think about it, we're more or less constructed now based off of society and what's deemed to be right, wrong, acceptable, loved, hate, based off of society. So things that he tell us to do it's gonna pretty much put you in a hate mode with people because that's not the way people think. We talked about before, even with the way people write, it's a different style than what he actually set up for us. Yahuah works more in verb first before he starts dealing with subject and objects. They'll deal with more going to a subject to something, and it'll look normal to you. So you got to remember, when he tells us to do something, we read, we say, that sounds crazy. Who talks like that? He does. He's about action. I think you got in one of your Zamar about that verse. It's an action. He wants an action. And he lets you know that's how he moves. He has an action to everything he does. And he lets you know there is a reaction to everything that you don't react to or things you act to. Y'all know that? So we have to start learning how he operates so we know him. We recognize his characteristics. Today, people say, oh, man, okay, y'all call him Yahusha. We call him Jesus. I don't know who you're talking about. You know, the guy, you know who y'all serve. We say God, y'all say Alahym. No, who are you talking about? Mm-hmm. There's a difference. He separated himself by every other Alahym by saying, let's look at the verb. I kill. I wound. I make alive. He want to know, what do these other Alahyms do? The reason you'll compare them with me, and you'll say, it's the same. Basically, it's the same. It's just, they'll tell us, we're playing word games. We're not using semantics. We're not playing word games. We're actually being practical to what he taught. I'm going with what he told me. It don't matter time change, culture, land, where we are today. When the man, he told us, I'm Alahym. I'm Al Shaddai. That's it. He said, I didn't change. I'm the all-powerful. I'm the most powerful. And I tell him, Al Shaddai, I'm the most. If it's anybody else got it, they ain't got more than me. That's right. And he wants that noted. I want that noted, that there's no Alahym that can do it. He said, there's none that can deliver out of my hand. Right. He said, none. Nobody can do it. Hello, he asked you to go back. He said, tell them to tell you things that happened before. Mm-hmm. If they be Alahym, better yet, because you see them lying. Let them tell you something that's going to happen. And let them be, he told them, come forth and be justified. Everything that he pretty much had told us, when I say pretty much that we know, when I say pretty much, everything he said is and has been, it's doing exactly what he told them. Mm-hmm. What signs he gave us for the last days? Let's go with the people when it was written. Let's just stay at 1611. You tell me in 1611, they started to propagate this plan and they still working and said, now it's time to activate this plan. They ain't had the technology to do it. They didn't know. They ain't had a sense enough to do it. The fact that he told you all these things before it happened, he told us that we were going in ships. We found out when we got on them. When we go back to read, when we go back to the letter, I told you what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I told you, what I told you going to happen when you got no ship. You were going to be on the love boat. It was going to be Isaac, the captain, and his daughter.
Gonna be sold.
What I told you when they came down tonight.
Which was day.
What I told you gonna do when it was day.
Which was night.
What I told you about your life.
Gonna be in down.
What I told you about you having a certainty of it. Tell me what certainty the slaves had.
None.
Who told us this before it even happened?
That's right.
You talking about now, let's just stick with the 1611 copied out version. They copied it from letters from writers that were older than that. How could they have known that? How could you have known we were going to be put in ships and we were going to be sold and our lives were going to be in doubt, hanging doubt? He said, you're going to have, and guess what? He said, you were going to have no ease.
Yep.
He said, it wasn't going to be easy for you either. Mimicking whom? Hands. I heard you, Dwight. You might have gone finish it out now. Well, I can't be wrong. Who we heard, y'all? Who we heard? How many y'all want to be saved? I said Dwight. What y'all heard? Who y'all
Dwight.
Dwight. Who that was? It sounded like it came back. That was you earning. Who was that? It came from back there, didn't it? That came from outside. That was you, huh, back? You gonna let that man go down? Huh? He said he thought, boy, what you had? Adam. Think about him. He had no ease either. What do you think he was gonna do in the daytime? I'm in the sweat of my brow. That's the daytime. I wanted to be in Layla. So, I mean, we're mimicking. Think about it. We're known as the Benim of Adam. So what's going to happen? Those traits are there. And because those traits are there, guess what? we also gonna receive for those traits. That makes sense. Let's look at something like what since we talking. We won't be all think we're gonna be all. I know what we looking to do, what I do, well, what he desire, what he will for us to do. Let's look at something. One second. Since when we'll deal with Romans, the 5th chapter. Let's see what it go. How about that? 5. Let's see what 5 and 9 say. Listen.
Now that we have been seduced by his dawn, on the one much more that we shall be saved from the wrath through him.
Okay. Now that we have been justified, can we look at what justified means? We'll know from an English terminology first. Having done for or marked by a good or a legitimate, y'all say that? Having done for or marked by a good or legitimate reason. Justified. Declared or made. Now they use this as a religion in theology. See how they break down their words and when they write, they didn't tell. Well, I was coming on dictionary, I don't think they broke down like that. Anybody remember that? We were coming on dictionary, they gave you the word, gave you first, second, third, fourth meaning maybe. It didn't break it down and let you know about theology or anything like that. I don't even think it told us now. You remember that, Calvin? In a dictionary, back when you were young in elementary, tell you whether a noun or verb. I don't remember. If it did, I didn't know what it was. You just wrote the word down, wrote down the definition. And then realize sometimes words could be used in more than one capacity depending on the situation. But teachers told us what they felt like would get by to get through with work a lot of times versus how it's important for us to understand. For us, this is what we're trying to do, declare or make righteous in the sight of Alahym, okay? But having done for or marked by a good or legitimate reason. So now he just told us being justified, having been justified by his done. What are we gonna use? Hands, good answer. Cooking, back hand in the hallway. No hand in the hallway. They said nobody they want to trust. All right, come on, Cookie, what you got? Token of virginity would have justified. What you got, Kerry? Mizraim. What in Mizraim? What you gonna say, Bishop? Same thing. Mizraim. What he brought over actually good too, though. It could be used too. But think about it though. And what he said could be used. I was looking more toward Mizraim, because this typically what a lot of us know, and that's something that we'll kind of look at. So he said now having been justified by, but let's see how that works for us in being justified by. Okay, see if that's the 12th chapter of the book of Alah Shamuth. They call Exodus. Alah Shamuth. Think about it. Moved 12. Okay. Let's see that. Listen.
Now Yahuah said to Moshe and Abarym and the rocks of Mizraim, saying, the Yarith shall be, this Yarith shall be the beginning of Yarith for you. It is to be the first Yarith of the Shamuth to you.
So Mizraim changed their whole schedule at this point. Y'all see that? How many of y'all can see that? So who did it change for? For us. Okay, go ahead.
Speak to all the Kahal of YashaYahu, saying, on the 10th of the Yarith, they shall take for themselves each one a lamb for their bet, a lamb for a bet. Now, if the bet is too small for a lamb, then he said, Then he and his Ra'ah next to his bed shall take according to the number of the body, each one according to the mouth of his eating. You shall count concerning the lamb. The lamb shall be an unblemished male, a year old to you. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats.
Yes.
It shall be for you to keep until the 14th moon of this yard.
Yeah.
Then the whole assembly of the Adah of YashaYahu is to kill it between the evenings. And they shall take from the dawn and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the bed in which they eat it in them.
Yes.
They shall eat the flesh in this layla, roasted with fire, and they shall eat it with masut lakam and bitter herbs.
Yeah.
Do not eat from it raw, nor boiled at all with ma'im, but roasted with fire.
Yes.
Its head with its legs, with its entrails.
Everything inside.
And you shall not leave from it over until morning. But whatever is left of it until morning, you shall burn it with fire.
Yeah.
Thus you shall eat it with your loins girded, your sandals on your gall, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pasach to Yahuah.
Yes.
For I shall go through the Arats of Mizraim on that Layla, and shall strike down all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim, from east to beast, and against all the mighty ones of Mizraim, I shall execute Mashpah. I am Yahuah.
Yes.
The dam shall be an ot for you,
a sign, a token.
Where you are there. And when I see the dam, I shall pass over you, and no plague shall befall you to destroy you when I strike in the Arats of Mizraim.
Yeah.
Now this yom shall be a memorial to you, and you shall celebrate it as a muhad to Yahuah.
Which will be a zak.
Room.
What?
Room.
What is that?
Zakaroon.
Yeah, Zakaroon, for a memorial for us. Just like it's a card, the shorted part. Mark is to remember.
Throughout all your Tuadah, you shall celebrate it as an ordinance alone.
So
as in Yamim, you shall
hold on. That's fine. So what we're looking at, because I mean, when you start reading, you have to start considering. He told us, therefore, being justified by his dom. So this is what we look at these people doing. We're looking at, when we look at the definition again, can we see it again? Justified, having, done for, or marked by a good or legitimate reason. They follow. And this is what hurts us. It is that simple in that what magic trick they had to pull? What they had to run and start hollering and shouting and rolling on the ground? See, obedience. Their obedience. That's all they did. They complied, they obeyed. That's what justified. What separated us from Alahym? Our disobedience. So now it was time to show that man can come back in to comply to save his life. He said, I'm going to look on this dom, and when I see it, I'm going to pass over you, and no plague is going to fall upon you. So we start looking at sickness, we start looking at diseases that fell upon us and all these things. He told us if we sin, he was going to put the same plagues on that he put on Mizraim. Why you think we're dying? Why y'all think our kids dying? See, that's the same thing he did. Why y'all think the animals dying? It's the same thing. So we coming back into the realization of understanding that being justified is important for us. This is how we get shalom with Alahym. Even with Musha, when Alahym was coming to kill Musha, murder. What did he do? What did his Asha do? His Isha do? She circumcised his son and did what? And threw it down at his feet. And she called him a bloody man. That saved his life. It saved his life. So in doing all these different attributes that we find now, or we go back and we read, and I say attribute, we go back and we look at the importance of the dom. Even in the 9th chapter of the book of Rashid, in the beginning, or in the height starts of creation, when you go back, you look at when he told Noah that everything that moveth shall be food for him, even as means to the same degree, even as the green herbs. And these people still teaching, you're not supposed to eat meat. I don't know where you get this doctrine from. He clearly, when he took them off, he told them that everything that moveth shall be food for you. Now, they're going to say he didn't have a dietary law, but then that wouldn't make a lot of sense when he knew how to take clean and unclean animal onto a boat. How would he not know what was clean and unclean? Because you heard every.
That's right.
Because when we want to do something, you'll see things the way you want to. The man clearly had to know that. How would he know what to get? And the book even told you that you may put a difference between clean and unclean, Sadak and Rosha.
Right.
And yet Noah had loaded up a ship of 4 unclean and 14 clean. And he don't even know the dietary law. He don't know what, you just load up a ship of clean and unclean and you don't know the difference. Well, anybody told me about what's clean to eat. I just know what's clean to put on the boat. Makes no sense, okay? So this is what we're trying to set down. These are the things that we're trying to consider. How important is the dam? He told him as he eat them, he said, but the kai, the blood, the dam, which is of what? That's the life of everything. People don't even realize that even plants got a blood. It's just not red. That liquor that comes, go get a liter in your tap, you'll get that wet stuff.
Yeah.
It is. Everything has something that exists. Everything that exists has something. But for us, we knew when it came down to the creature, when it came down to the man, we knew that the dumb. He said that's the life of everything. When you start dealing with the blood, so he was giving him the significance. When they ate, they knew we can't eat that. That's the life. That's the life of all living. We can't eat it. Now he's come back to use it to say, I'm going to use this to justify you. I'm going to use this. It's going to be through your obedience that these things are going to cohesively work together to redeem you. You know what I'm saying? Make up for, we talked about a bad aspect of something. Sin is a bad aspect. It's really a bad deal. Because you look at how some of us have received kata'in, the rewards of kata'in, it hadn't even been from your labor. It was from the labor of the people. You don't think you need redeeming? Hypothetically, if Alahym just used Rod, say he cursed Rod to his 10th generation, everybody that come from him, is that, in a sense, for them, they're looking at, wow, this is a bad deal. I didn't have a part of lot in it, but for a reason, he said, this go all the way your 10th generation. So I got 9 people looking at it. This is bad. Now, Yahuah, being who he is, being Sadak, being just, that's why he can justify us. He comes back and he set up a protocol that comes back, and now we understand redeeming. Just like we went down to Mizraim, the testimony was what? Hands, help. What happened?
Can't go back.
We can't go back. What?
Can't go into Mizraim.
No. What was their speech after they came out? Go ahead, Dwight. I'm sorry. But they talk about we went down first. We went down into that first. When we went into Mizraim, we were not slaves. We were not bondsmen. When we got there later, they evenly entreated us. You know what I'm saying? They sat there, and Yahuah redeemed them and brought them out. He meant it for a bad aspect. You think after they come and they hear the story, we came in, we were free people. We were actually invited in. We were asked to come. Bring your wives, bring your kids, leave your stuff. You won't need it. I'm going to give you more. And we got there later. It's like, wow, y'all invited us in for this? So now we couldn't leave. So it was important to let us know that I'm Yahuah that redeemed you out of the Beth abundance. So there would be an appreciation. Think about how many times we heard he redeemed us and we didn't really know what that means.
Right.
We'll associate, man, with a coupon if we did. I mean, you heard, I'm Yahuah that redeemed you from the Beth abundance. So when you don't understand words and verbiage and meaning and why certain things are said, then I don't know how to give you the right reaction.
Right.
Can we look at redeemed again? Compensate for the faults or bad aspects of something. And that's what he did. He compensated us for it. That's what they're doing. He was compensating us for it. A lot of us got into a situation where he looked at, you know what I'm saying? That's a bad deal. And I want to get you out of that situation. I want to redeem you. I want to compensate you for that. And that's what he let us know when he would always refer back to, I'm Yahuah, I'm your Alahym. Before he would let us know that redeemed you from the belt of bondage. I compensated you for that. When you came out, those people gave you gold. They pressed it upon you because you need to have been compensated. Something should have been given. Like now, you got everyone in leader, they'll just take you out of here. Don't feel like you should be compensated. Yahuah don't redeem like that. When I bring you out, you need to be compensated. Listen, man, when you're cold, left from labor, did you hear what their brother said? That joker done took everything we got. He looked, and he told him in it. He snapped on him. You come searching my stuff for? So man, I worked all day out there and I burned up in the sun. I done them froze at nighttime. Every time something got taken, it was stolen or wild beast killed it, I had to make up for it. Don't come to me talking about I took nothing. It's mine. He came back trying to claim his daughters back, tried to claim the grandkids and everything. I mean, all I took what was mine. He said, had Yahuah not looked out for me. And that right, Yahuah came to him and let him know, said, you need to get out from under them. You need to flee. Get out from among these people. And he ain't telling him to leave nothing. He ain't steal nothing. Yahuah redeemed him. See, all these were protocols been set up for. See, you good with just leaving, don't worry about nothing. I ain't. I need to be redeemed. Compensate for a bad fault. They doing it for the Jewish people.
Right.
Listen, South Korea pissed with Japan right now. Because they said Japan owed them for the invasion. And they said they need to be compensated for it. Japan felt like that was a long time ago. They said, it wasn't long enough. The people that stand out there fighting, it wasn't even them. They said it was their grandparent, their great-grandparent. They said they died behind it. They want to be compensated for it. That's all people saying. What's wrong we said?
Yep.
We just want to be redeemed.
Yep.
I don't tell you anybody. We saying the dumbest stuff. Don't even know what we saying. How you redeemed? What they gave you? Think about it. Now you look. Think how stupid we look saying that. Y'all remember that song? Tell them who I am. I am
Being redeemed.
What did you get?
Nothing.
I don't need nothing. Just give me Jesus. You don't even, see, people set us up and you don't realize how stupid you sound. The fact that you reciting something, you don't even know what you're saying. We sung them songs for years. Y'all been hearing that? Anybody ask you who I am, just tell them I'm redeemed. How would you compensate it? They'd be like, huh? When would you compensate it? But nobody ever taught it. These preachers not trying. And I'm definitely not saying on the one. People are not trying to teach us the truth. People are just trying to tell us enough to just shut us up and make you run off. They design these churches. They design these, listen, the Hebrew Israelite camp, this is not every one of them. Please don't take it. This is not a battle with any group, but for the average of us, we don't sit down long enough to think. We spend so much time fighting. We don't look at the real necessity of making sure we are actually focusing on making sure we're right. We fought so long to fight back with people that we call white people, Caucasian, to where we really lost our legitimacy in what we're trying to do. We wound up being a bunch of weed heads and drunks, adulterers and fornicators, murderers and killers. Why are we murderers and killers? How did we get to this point? Because we've been so driven by anger and frustration of a system to where we just forgot about what we're trying to do, and now we made up our own rights. That's about being honest. We made up our own right. Now we got to sit down and look at this thing. That man saying we've been justified by complying with, by doing. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
This man wants to give us things, but we got to get to a point to where we can start looking at how much did we really play in this? We played more of a part of this than white people play. So the part we read about us going in these ships and these things happening, what part did we read about white people before? What interaction we had with white people before that? See, we've been so driven on putting, I'm not saying that, please don't, I'm not saying ain't no fault. I'm definitely not saying that. The only problem we got to get to like unity. Can we at least say the fault's in us?
Yeah.
Let's go with something. Listen, to everything happening, we looking at vindication justice on white people. True to the fault. What about justification on us for what we've done? What about recompense us for what we've done? Because we the people that said, hold on, we got third chapter right quick of the book of Romans. 3:1. All right, listen.
If so, what is the advantage of the Yahudy? Or what is the benefit?
What did we say advantage was?
Here you go, here.
That's what he's asking. What is the advantage? So now, why would this question come into play? Hands. Yes, sir. Think about your answer. Think about your answer. Your hand went up fast. How many of y'all going with right answer? You got the right answer. All right, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No scratch.
Yeah.
8, 9. All right, go ahead and give us your answer. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we about on page. Yeah. The question became, because we reading, they do chapters and verses. This stuff is not actually chapter and verse. This is one writing. So when he asking you, he's trying to tell you about us, or the question become, what is our advantage? Because you just finished telling us about a person not being circumcised, but in circumcising their works. Which means what? They cut off the drinking, they cut off the lying, they cut off the fornicating, they cut off the adultery. It's just like the removing of. So they removed it. He said, that's a circumcision. That's just like circumcision, because it taught us about the removing of, the uncovering of. So now he started telling us about taking away things we had to take away and get away from. He said, this works as a form of circumcision, but for us to understand it, he gave us some carnal first, like the circumcision. The circumcision distincted us out from other men. We were circumcised people. We wouldn't think about it. When Yaakov, Benin, Louis, and Simeon, when they came along, they found out that their Akuth sister had been raped. When they came over to Shechem, who was the son who raped Dinah and wanted to marry her, they told him, we can't give our women to another Goy nation. He said, except they be circumcised. So that became a practice. We looked at, we don't even give them over to people that's not circumcised. So we associated a behavior with the circumcision, which means we looked at ourselves as being more superior because he had given us something that we got from Abraham. Alahym favored Abraham, and he gave Abraham the circumcision as a token. But with Shaul, who is one of my favorite writers, if I had to pick one, he brought back the legitimacy of the understanding of circumcision. He said, well, let's look at Abraham. He said, when Alahym gave it to him, was he in circumcision? Was he out of circumcision? Because to get to the point that he gave him circumcision, did he have disobedience or obedience? So he said that in itself was a circumcision. And he tried to show him that circumcision did not actually distinguish him out from people. It was only symbolism. What distinguished Abraham out from people was his compliance to the letter of the law. So he wanted them to understand, I'm not condemning circumcision. I'm just saying that the people he gave it to kept a certain order. You got what I'm saying? They looked at certain things. We don't rape women. When they found out she raped, they said this thing shouldn't be done in YashaYahu. Not in our bed. We don't rape women. This is not something. These groups will come along, they'll rape women, they'll say they do it. We don't do it. That's not our custom. They looked at we're people that comply, but along the way, we started using our circumcision for justification. And again, at the 5th chapter of the book of Romans, right quick, 5 and 9, and we're gonna come back down. And as you can read, what does he say about our circumcision? Please.
If so, what is the advantage of the Yahudy?
No, 5 and 9.
Oh.
Now that we have been sadat by his dom,
See that? So now we've been justified by what part of circumcision?
by his dom,
What happened?
on the one, much more than we should be saved from the wrath through him.
So what we're gonna do with the circumcision? See, it was only given to us as symbolism because he had gave it to Abraham for symbolism. It'll never make you obey nothing. Circumcision can never save you. And that's how people have got into some of the conflict we got in with people trying to prove our superiority through the acts of the works of the flesh. And they'll try to say, see, Tony Smith tried to justify himself by saying, well, he don't do works of the flesh. If Alahym told me, okay, I do this. You need something to write with. See, I'm justified by works of the flesh. That would be me justifying myself by saying I gave him a pen, that makes me righteous. If the word, the bar tells me to do something, to give him this pen, then I'm not justified by works of the flesh. I'm justified by the Ruach, which governs, which establishes the word. Because we learn in 2 Timothy, Barnabas, Beth Barnabas, 2 Timothy, they'll call it, 3 and 16, all writers, the Ketuvim, are given by the inspiration. So some inspired it. Alahym is a flesh or is it Ruach? So it's Ruach. So Alahym, the Ruach, actually inspires. Isn't that right? Can we look at what inspires means? Inspired, the act of, inspired, ed, done. What's the inspiration? Inspire, fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. So this is what we look at what he did. He said, now all scripture, Ketuvim, are given by the inspiration, where we'll take down the root word inspired. Y'all see what he did? He filled them with. Y'all got with the filling, with the unction, with the right of anointing to cause them to do. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we look. Sometimes you'll read and it'll tell you that the hand of Yahuah was heavy on them, which means he put such a Ruach drive on them. It wasn't the physical hand, but you understand what he's telling you as a person. It's hard to see the Ruach in that fashion, so you'll use it as the hand just actually pressed down on. The Ruach was so driven on them, it caused things to happen to them or for them. You got it? So this is what we start looking at him inspiring. So we look at the validity of the Dabar superior above all things. Our understanding of Alahym, our knowledge of Alahym, our ahab of Alahym, all come through the writings, which are inspired through the Ruach. Y'all got it? And that's how you have to look at it. You can't look at it just as a man's given thing. You got to look at it. My hand was upon them. The Ruach was upon them to drive the writer to do, to drive the speaker to say. Y'all got it? So, I mean, that's how we got to do it. And we don't understand that. Well, how we going to do it? Because then we get into the fight or the flesh, or is it him or is it man talking? Just like they did with Musha. It's hard for them to esteem because why? They were yet carnal. And when you carnal, it's hard for you to kind of to understand something working from Ruach spiritually, because the carnality of the person is fighting that. It'll fight against it. That's why I tell you the natural man, he said he won't receive it. He said he can't do it. Unless something aggravates him, unless something drives him to get him to understand, he won't receive it. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? He walk straight on Sunday work and say, hey, Sunday not even in the book. You shouldn't be keeping it. It's actually what they call Saturday. Man, like, who you think you're talking to? Because the natural man don't see it that way. The natural man look at, how much the natural man got to do on Saturday? Any good thing going on Saturday. Okay. Going out that Sunday. Ain't nothing going on. I guarantee listen, ain't no better mall day than Saturday. Don't fool nobody. Best day to go grocery shopping Saturday. Everybody in there. That's the best time. Yeah. Ain't nothing going listen, Saturday, best day. It'll pull down on the sun, you try to do something. Sunday be good. You got something, so you got sun, sun come out like that. You say, woo, son of that thing going out day over with. Saturday, that thing just stretch and wait. Like Yahuah hand, that thing like it stretch wide. It's still a long time. Get dark, a little beacon of light will shoot out. Said that's Saturday. That ain't Saturday, that's Saturday. So you see, they create the way to make it look more attractive to keep the natural man down. So you having a constant fight with self. So when you're carnal, it's hard for you to kind of receive this. They put such a separation between us and Alahym, understand? Because then when you deal with Alahym, you're dealing with all powerful, not actual name. You're dealing with, something that's descriptive about him, more or less than the person name is. Then you see the difference between you and Alahym. You see, he told you Mushal wanted to look. He said nobody can look on my panim and Kai. So you said, what kind of relationship can I have with somebody I can't see? That's a spirit that run around. I can picture Tinkerbell, a little light going or something, other than trying to put that, trying to phantom that in your mind when you're dealing with Alahym, the Ruach. So you look at what relationship can I have with a Ruach, except he came in the fashion and form of a man. And so he took on something so we can have that relationship. He took on something. Y'all see that? He took on flesh and blood so we can have that relationship. That's what happened. A man and a woman can have a relationship because both of them flesh. Yeah, he said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and they two should be one. What spirit? What the spirit was? What? One flesh. Because now they have something that they can correlate with one another. They have something that can substantiate a relationship. You've been trying to substantiate a relationship with just a spirit. How do you see a spirit? Somebody do this. Tell me, you pretty smart. You went to college, right? I mean, you went. Did you graduate?
No, sir.
Give me somebody graduated. Nothing against you. Nothing against him. Somebody graduated. You went. I'm talking about from a college, not no pay. Come on, you pretty smart. Do we trust him?
Yes, sir.
Do we trust him? All right, I'm gonna make sure. You help me turn it around. Okay. Let me turn it around. Okay. We'll turn it that way. All right, we'll go that way. We have to pick it up. There you go. Come on. It did good. Yeah, it did good. These are pictures of members. I come on this side for them right quick. Draw me ain't got nothing big, nothing fancy. Cat. Just a cat. What you see a cat. Ain't got to be big. Something, you know what I'm saying? What you see a picture of a cat. Or what you think a cat look like? A cat. Cat! No, I don't do that. All right, I'll take that. I would take that. So, gang don't get no head. All right, let's just do let's see a boy. This gentleman. How would you draw? It could be a stick, but I don't know.
Stick boy?
How do you want to do just a boy? Yeah. Apple. How you see it? Them how you see it, apple? Let's stand. Oh, that's nice, apple. Isn't that right? Yeah, man. All right, stop. First of all, this is a bell pepper, okay? I didn't want to see what y'all was. I didn't want to see what y'all was. I just was saying. He's fine. Orange. He's fine. Orange. Yeah, where's the orange? All right, orange, we'll take that. Now, draw. I'm gonna put your pen. I'm gonna draw a spirit. Just try in your mind. What's the spirit? What are you doing? How many of us will be right where he at? I appreciate it. And see, let me tell you what he did. Let me borrow. We'll turn it back around. What you did is what you knew. Right. You knew you seen a cat before, and you know similarities to put for a cat. A cat got whiskers. Right. Cat got ears. There's certain things you looked at. The eyes are a little different. I don't know. This cat. I'm thinking this is the cat's skull. It's challenging. The bell pepper, the apple. He knew the apple typically would have a stem when you have it in there. And the orange is typically not as oval, but it has, look. But these are things that he knew as a man. Just like the boys, even with this, he knew characteristics of the draw. But now I just asked him to draw the spirit. Now he puzzled. So what's the thinking of the relationship? When I don't know how you look, I don't really know. I just have words on a paper. Then what's the relationship? What I'm saying with any of us, what's the relationship? Because I don't have anything I can really compare it to. So you can see the need of why a man needs to come. Let's think about Kunal. We'll turn it back around. We'll turn your way. You come here. So, what's her name? Canute, who they call Enoch. What they told us he did. Now he walked out. So somebody show me how they walk. Give me two people up here. Two people. Them borrow. Karnu and Alahym walking together. Show me. Because they're thinking for name. We're talking about a Ruach.
That's right.
See, the only thing that we can fathom it to be practical to look at it is that he would have walked according to the debar.
That's right.
Because and think about it, it was important for us to know that when YashaYahu came out, people don't talk it right on time. They walked with Alahym.
That's right.
Yeah.
How they did, he let them out. They walked with him. It wasn't a physical man there, but he let them out. Then he gave us symbolism. He said, I was a pillar of fire at night.
Mhm.
That's how they would know where, because otherwise, where are you?
Mhm.
Where are you? He said in the daytime, I was a dark cloud. That's how we knew him to walk over. So it was symbolism of things. So now we want to see that. When the writer Daud wrote the 23rd chapter of Tehillim, he said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of Mut, I shall feel no Rosh for what happened? Thou and what's the rod used for? And that's right, used for correction. It's used for strike too. It's used to pull you out. He said the rod. So now, where was it pillar of fire? Where was it dark cloud in the daytime? He said, I recognize the rod that you were with me. And he said, that comfort me because I can recognize this is how we typically can. You laying down on the ground, hypothetically, and I come get him up, Yahuah with him. He don't realize him being down, Yahuah can still be with him through some other things, through chastisement. He looking at on time we see Yahuah, and when we get up a thing working, if a check cash, some money coming in the mail. What about ain't no money came in the mail? You still been making it. I don't like making it like this though. He says, I can't please you. There's some people love to get what you got. Cause we want more. We ain't looking at what we got. How you think you're doing? Look, he showed them when they went through Bamart Bar through the wilderness. He said, your shoes didn't wear for 40. Nobody looked at for 40 years. Think about it, you've been walking for 40 years and your feet ain't swollen. We talking about you get home. Most of what we get home, what's some of the first thing we do when we get home?
Got shoes on
How long you been walking?
all day.
40 years I'm walking. And you talking about, as soon as you get home, you pull yours off. They look at you, said, woo, my feet tired. I just want to soak them. He said, 40 years, your feet didn't swell.
That's right.
He said, you know, you ain't had to go to Macy's, J.C. Penney, or Sears to get none. Your clothes didn't wear out.
Yeah.
Because they were so bent shape on the correction, they didn't realize I correct you in measures. This would be too much for you. I'm beating you and you have nothing to wear. You have no shoes, your feet swollen. He said, man, come on. I corrected you above measure. We were commanded to give a stranger so many stripes, right. but a Yahudy.
You do it, 31, 71.
39. He said, listen, he said, I beat you more than that. He said, man, he said, if I beat you, he said, your brother become vile in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't want you to look at him like that. You beat him like that, you beat him like you beating somebody out there. It'd be like how parents would tell our brother and sister to be fine. Say you fight like niggas in the street.
Yeah.
They don't fight them like that. So you know what he taught us? You don't whoop them like that.
Yeah.
He said, let your brother be vile in your eyes. Let's see what vile is, V-I-L-E. Let's see what the definition, I don't know. I mean, we know it's like disgusting or maybe it might be, but let's look at what the definition is. Vile, extremely unpleasant, morally bad or wicked. If I'm beating you like that, I'm beating you because I feel like that's how you are. He said, don't do him like that. Shamuth said he been beat thrice. He said, with a rod. He said 39, he said 40 strikes, save one, 39. He let him know everything he did, he said it was still Torah. He recognized it was Torah. See, he recognized the fact that I couldn't get 40, that still let me know I belong to him. He said, look at that. So I don't see myself as morally bad or wicked. This is chest mouth of a little worth of value. He said, don't ever let your brother shouldn't ever seem that way. Your ox shouldn't ever seem that way to you. So everything he did, he gave it to us such in a way to where, you know what I'm saying, it's still a caring in the chastisement with one another. Yeah. He said, see, listen, he said, if I took you and you said, listen, preacher, I'm in a bad spot, man. I'm had to work for you for so long, man. Help me out. You know, I do that. I was all right. I said, shoot, that nigga my slave. That nigga need me. I'm gonna do that nigga. I'm gonna work that nigga all I can, get everything I got there. He said, at a period of time, he said, you let that man go. He said, don't send that man away empty either. He said, you don't do that, man. Don't send that man away empty. See, everything he gave us was to show us how they kept. So a lot of time when we look at it, we don't consider. Alahym can't be seen with the physical eye, but the attributes of Alahym can be seen for the fact that he puts things on people. Law. He put you on people law of their mind to consider you, to let you know. Because you want to see it. You can't see a spirit choke. Somebody get somebody for you pretty smart my pastor. Give my pastor a hand, because my pastor, he'll tell me look that. Now, if he can't get one more of them questions right, cell phone asking, I'm gonna be in the preacher looking, but no. So show me a spirit thinking about me. Exactly. We don't know. That's just you. What you're doing is exactly right. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I show you an example of spirit thinking about you. For some reason, it was on my heart to give you this.
Appreciate it.
This example. I saw it in his eye. We were good. I seen his eyes saying, when he do that thing right there, I know he ain't getting it back. That's all right. Look at that. Ain't that tight, ain't it? Man, look at that. Man, they're not just playing. But see, I appreciate it. But think about it. So instead of just the recognition to him or him recognizing me, who put that? Who put that down? Who put? So we don't think about it, because we keep saying, I need to hear from you. I need to talk to you. I need you to show me something. Some man coming here trying to help me. Man, get back, man. I'm trying to get the Lord to talk to me and show me something. It's going to be through things, through other people. We don't recognize people. We say we appreciate they done thing, and which there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying don't please don't go insult about say, nigga, you ain't did nothing. That's all he. No, it's the fact that he tries to show us. He put you on people up because these people have no reason to think about you. Huh? Listen. Yahuah 3:16, Alahym so a heart belong. So when it came down to demonstrating the heart of Alahym, he said, I showed I gave you my being. That's how I showed it to you. See, first, I got a man, and I proved the man out. I gave the man the desire of his law. I gave him a son, and I told him that when you got it, that's not the one. Get rid of him. I want to see he be obedient. I want to give him something better. I want you to trust me, get rid of him. He's not going to be the one, that's not the one I'm giving you. Not to be your heir. And he gave me one, then the one he gave me the heir, he said, wow, that took a lot out of me. But this one, since I had to get rid of one, guess how much love he had for the other one? When it came down to Yahuah be told, he said, listen, when our uncle, big uncle Yahudah, I call him big uncle. I had to call him big uncle. You know nobody call him big uncle. That can do something. Big uncle, he took him, and he took Pharaoh, who he thought was as Pharaoh, he took Joseph, a man, and took him off to the side and said, if I could I talk with you? He took him off. He said, and I'm talking to you, because I know you just like Pharaoh. So now here was a man who was set up by Pharaoh. Y'all got it? And Pharaoh had given him the rule under his hand, yet when he talked to him, he recognized him as Pharaoh. And they got a problem with me recognizing Yahushua as Yahuah. But I got it from my big uncle. He said, I'm telling you because I know you just like Pharaoh. He said, my Abba, I told my father, he said he's an old man. He said Yahuah, his issue, his wife, he had more one. Said she gave him two. She gave him two sons. Said the one said was killed by a ravening beast. He said there's one lad he got left. He said, listen, if something should happen to him, it'll take him down to the grave. He said, see, the Abba life is tied in with the son. He said, that's all they tried to tell her. He said, if Abba's son, he said, that son life is tied into the Abba. And if something happened to that son, said it'll take him to the grave. That's how we understood that Yahushua was Yahuah. And that their life was tied in together. The only way we understood, Big Unc taught it to us. So he let us know exactly. So you know what he looked at? He told her that's how much a hobby had on her. See, y'all ain't gonna believe it. Some wild beast had come along, had destroyed Adam. Said it wasn't Nakash. It did. It took his first son, and he had to drive him out. That's why. See, y'all didn't know why he told Abraham to don't let him grieve about getting that boy out. He said, you know what? I didn't let Adam take nothing from him. You know, he said, don't grieve him. Don't let it grieve you when you put him out. Don't let him put a wild beast had come in and done that to him. It hurt him something. He told, that's why he could tell it. He looked like I overcame it. That's why he can give him the Nakum to let him know, don't let that thing overtake you. Y'all hear me? Yahuah had given him another one though. And just like Yahushua wanted us to know how Abraham harbored that one he harbored, I want you to give him to me. He said, I want to see a man do what I'm going to do. I want to show y'all a man to do what I want. So, you know, we keep saying, see, you ain't Alahym. I'm not Alahym. You can't expect me to do what he do. He expected Abraham to do what he was doing. And Abraham did it. You ain't going to believe it. He expected a man to do what he did. That's what he did when he made Adam in the garden. He said, let him have. Put him over. He said, I'm expecting him to do it. That's why I had to be him. That's why he got us him. See, all the excuses we make, I ain't like I'm Alahym, ain't like I'm God. He said, I don't know where you got it from. When Yahushua was questioning about him, had making himself equal to Alahym, he said, didn't I say in your Torah that you Alahyms? He said, if he called him Alahym, to whom the Debar Alahym came, he said, then the right can't be broken. That's why we put him up on the two. You ain't believe what they came back and said. Not a bone in him could be broken. He was trying to tell you, ain't nothing but the walking writings. That's what you are. Anything he tell you to do. If Alahym told her right now, everybody stand up. Everybody move 2 feet to the right. And 2 feet to the left. Everybody can sit down. If that were Alahym exact words, that's all you be. You be living proof. That's all we are, living proof to his word. Think about it. It's just in a page to somehow. Go take the Bible. Go take any of these books. Go take the Tanakh. Go take any book. Set it down, leave it right there, and see what they do. Nothing. Not till it open and get into the minds of people. Right. Till it gets into our hearts. Nothing happens. It's just sitting. It's just a book. It won't dust itself off. It won't flip itself and open itself. It'll stay there until you use it. It's there for you to get understanding. When you get understanding, then you have to replicate what you read. Tell you what I'm telling y'all. All we do now is replicate. Adam didn't do nothing. You think he just walked up and started naming animals? No, he was told how to do that. He was taught how to do that. That's how he knew how to name them. That's how he knew what to call this Shah. Isha. He said, because you came out from the east. He said, that's why you're going to be called Isha, because you came out from the east. Yahushua came out from Yahuah. Wow. You ain't going to believe it. And then he's a savior. You ain't going to believe what I say to woman, a childbearer. He said, nevertheless, you're going to be saved in childbearing. That's what the book said. That's how you're going to be saved. That's what Yahushua did. He bared us. Hello, he bared our reproach. Ain't that right? Everything, I mean, you just don't see the significance in yourself. Why would society teach you that? Society, listen, you made for tight dresses, tight pants, for a tramp stamp on your butt cheek, for a titty mark. That's something you made for. You made for weave, you made for lipstick, you made for Maybelline, you made for earrings. That man said you for childbearing. Can't nobody come in the world without you. Don't let nobody fool you. That's a good trick that man pulled. Tell him to do it without a woman. Y'all see that? It came in through you. You have the gift, the baraka, that he used you to bring life into the room. All these bad people come. So you see how important it is what you do and what you enter and put into your child or put in the children. You see the society out here? Come out from you. Seeded out from a terrible man. And I've been calling for this, that men and women, everybody, all these races, we need to talk. We've been so busy trying to kill and destroy and hate people. How much of that hate you really bear yourself? How much of the things that happen in your life, you're responsible for yourself? Come on, let's look at all. How many of y'all been beat by people? How many of y'all been manipulated, lied to, and cheated by people? And we ain't played no part of nothing. We played a part of it. Whether we manipulated and we beat people for it. It's only bad and terrible till it happened to us. Not when we raped and we beat other people, though. Not when we took from other people. It's only when people take out, they need to go to jail, they need to die. When you take, when you lie and you cheat, a lot of you, man, you should die and burn in Sheol, burn in hell. When you lie, sometimes, you know, you have to do that to save face. And sometimes you have to do that to keep from hurting people. So we never see ourselves. We're so busy at everybody else. And that's what it's calling us back to now, examining ourselves. Looking at what we put our validity on, or our relationship with him on, what we wear, the tassels, all these things right here, this symbolism, that man been told he was gonna come along. He had another, let's see what he told you gonna do right quick. See if that 8 and 1 of the book of Abarym. They call Hebrew 8 and 1. I know we got a few things up here on the board, but it's still right. Abarym. We'll do 8 and 1. I still gotta make sure we get those mailed off over there to Ghana too. Everybody think Bahamas asked me about those the T seats. Make sure we get them over there. Granville, yeah. I'm saying Bahamas, make sure we get them out where we need them. Please make sure we get those done expeditiously. Expeditiously. All right, 8 and 1, listen.
This is the Rosh of the sayings that we have in Rosh Kohan.
This is the head. This is the head of the saying that we have high, which is a Rosh. When we look at the Rosh, what they put up there for the okay. Gadol is a great one. Remember that Gadol, I told y'all about that? That means a great one. So this is what he talking about. I would say a high priest, but we talk about a great one. Listen.
Who is seated on the right hand of the throne
Yamin.
of the majesty in the Shamayim.
The Shamayim.
And he is a shower of the.
Hold on, they haven't went that far. Because he done already read that. Go ahead. And he is a shower for a servant. That's what a preacher is. He's just a servant of
the Magdash.
Well, here they put the Kodash, the sanctuary. And some of that will come in because you're dealing with two different translators when they're writing. And what I call the first Berith. And the reason why I call it the first Berith and the second one, because then we're going to look at similar to a man having two wives. Okay? See, if this is what people don't realize, this is what they mess up. See, your writings taught you that. That if a man had two wives, one beloved and one hated, and you ain't gonna believe what they hate. They hate that first one. They hate that first one. Y'all know everybody go well to that second one. Ain't that right? Mimicking who? Yahuah with Leah and Rachal. He had two. The first one he hated. That's why these folk hate what they call the Old Testament. Okay? The second one they love, the New Testament. You ain't gonna believe it. They can go and get themselves set up and born themselves with that new when they got that second one. But the obligation of the first one don't diminish.
That's right.
That's how he taught us.
That's right.
That if a man had two wives, and they hate that first one, and they beget any children through that second one, the obligation of the first one do not diminish. That's why I won't move from it. They think they know. They don't know because they don't understand. In order to get us to understand it, they say, that don't make sense how a man have two wives. Well, how you got two Berith? It wasn't more about the two wives than it was to get you to understand the obligation. Because think about it, I got two. He done told you that no man can serve who? What is he going to do? When he got two wives, what's going to happen? And you ain't going to believe it. The obligation of the first one don't diminish. I would never let the second supersede the first. Y'all understand that? But how's we gonna understand it? You know what they use? See, they think it's a doctrine about them going against two wives. Because that's what you want to hear. See, but those that have their lobs turned toward the plan of salvation, they understand these are symbolism. You're dealing with people. How else were they going to understand this? Right. You look at Solomon. Everybody want to go get these 1,000 wives. I don't know a nigga today that can have no 1,000 wives. I don't care what color, what race, and how much Viagra. Boy, you finna be raw dog. You finna have a skinless wiener. That ain't make sense. But then you gotta consider this. And he told you how he loved what men and what.
Right.
You ain't gonna believe it. Alahym so a love the home. He's so a harp their long. None of these folks ain't strange, huh?
Strange.
Right.
You gotta try to look how a man can satisfy. Here to give you symbolism. You know they're gonna use that for to try to teach how strong his sex drive is. No, I'm trying to teach how great his Ahab was, that he favored more than one. But their mindset is always trying to justify the sexual. See, there is a carnal part to us that is sexual, but he was trying to show you how enriched he was towards. So look where he went. He had a wife out of Mizraim. You know how we were? We saw Yahushua talking to Gentiles, other Goyim. Ain't gonna be people saved out of all these different people. It told you many, all these wives were from different places. So why is it so strange that Alahym can save so many? These Hebrews are like other people. It ain't every one of them. Please don't email. Please don't text me. Please stop it. Save your text because I ain't gonna read it. Don't email. I'll throw it away. I'm gonna delete it. Everybody has a different point of view or different rationale for why they seeking him. Okay. I'm just telling you, everybody not seeking for it. Y'all will get caught. That don't move me because I know somebody saying Yahuah and Yahushua. What else you got going on? See, all these things, a lot of things we got, they were symbolism. How's we gonna understand it? How's we gonna understand it? Then he let the man fall from it. So was it really about the marriage? Or about us getting 1,000 women? What did we learn about him and the 1,000 women eventually he had? I'm trying to get me 1,000. Probably give me like look 5 or 6. All you finna do is you finna have a bunch of problems.
Yep.
You think you're doing something, they're making a fool out you. Women are a whole lot smarter than what men thinking.
Yep.
If women good with you and 3 and 4 more than women, because they finna make a fool out you. One of them finna duke you, diamond. Okay. You ain't getting none of that. You think she good with you in that room banging somebody while she laying there sleep, her and the other 4. Niggas quit being stupid.
That's right.
But that's what they get out of it. And they might because you keep trying to seek some other way. I'm looking for the plan of salvation. I ain't looking how to get a one. If I want 1,000 women, all I need is 5 crack rocks.
Yes, sir.
And when the smoke clear, they gone and I'm gone. So stop. This is not a hard feat what people trying to do because it ain't about that. A lot of things here to show us through human that we can see the error and we can see the two, whatever, other word they'll try to say, the divinity of, but we don't use these type of words simply because what they try to display, the definitions are fine. It's just when you use the word, you start to speak into other things. This is how they get you all the time. They get us every time because we don't know. Why did he tell us we were destroyed? And then he came along and said, and because we think about it, when I don't have it, why would I receive it? I lack too much to try to receive a bunch. When somebody try to come and give it to me, what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fight it. And this is a lot of us. We gotta get to a point where we don't waste the fight. There's a lot of people make Tony Smith, they fight. They don't even realize this man is setting you up for destruction. The best way to hurt Tony Smith is to ignore Tony Smith. You can't. He won't let you. He let me be a thorn in your flesh for a reason. Because he wants you aggravated. To let you know you're in error. Other people, if they're doing something, they're doing the work. Nobody wasting no time. There's no preacher, none of them distracted me. Ain't none of them throwing him out. Ain't none of them got me poor. Oh, where he at? I need to find it. Where's ministry? Where's group? For what? I'm working. Y'all hear me? I'm working. Malcolm Yah told him the best in the 6th chapter of the book of Malcolm Yah. They called Nehemiah. He told him, listen, and I said messenger under them saying, I'm doing a great work so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease?
That's right.
Why should I leave to come down to
That's
you?
right.
He said they sent after him 4 more of the time. He said, what? I answered after the same manner. Why I'm gonna come down? Y'all know why folks watch me, why folks sent? Thanks, Ra. I hadn't read it. Thanks, Ra, and TWYOS. The way of y'all synagogue. TWYOS. The way. Okay. I forgive you. For everything, I appreciate the lessons and the 2 mics and a man show. Keep up the great work with the teaching and standing on the wall. Stay being an example. Brother Wright, we appreciate you too. Give him a hand clap. I appreciate it. I appreciate him. We appreciate it. See, listen, folks watching up for a reason.
Right.
I'm waiting on, listen,
Right.
Folk be killing time. There's a whole lot of folk watching for a reason, because people get the fact it's honest, it's real, it's unscripted. You don't know who's gonna get no check. Go ahead and put one up there. See, nobody expecting that. You ain't even did nothing. And do that and still be right. What you expect that can? You hadn't done that. We all done something. The book said we all done fell short of the glory. Ain't that right?
That's right.
But I'm just saying, it's unscripted, unrehearsed. We say some things, everybody won't agree with everything we say. At the end of the day, I want everybody to say, not just him. I mean, people should have opportunity. People should have opportunity to sit down and hear the truth and be able to examine and consider for themselves. Don't decide for people, give them opportunity. But you always got people that always are creeping unaware to try to disturb people, disrupt people, waste time. You hear folks, they'll probably try to email and bother what they want. Why do you think they're doing it? When you don't have a life, you have to create something. You don't matter. You know, people simply, you actually think I read it. You'll take your time to write something like that to me. How many times do you for some dyslexia? I'm not reading that stuff. Are you serious? Delete. I don't waste that time. Yeah, you told us, and you know what some said? Some say, keep reading. Are you serious? Delete. I don't put no stuff like that. You wasting time. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you use all your key ink. If it's ink with them keys, you don't waste up a lot fooling with me. I don't read that stuff, man. I'm too busy. I'm doing something. If I wasn't doing that, I can say, let me go through all the hate. I don't have time for that stuff. You know why I don't pay people no attention? Debate me or anything they're saying. If you were doing something, how much time would you have to be dealing with me?
Yep.
So you don't have nothing going on in your life. And you need me. I don't waste that kind of time. People.
Yep.
I'm doing something. Y'all see me calling all these folks debating. Send it out to them. Tell them I'm ready. Time. Who you trying to convince? Yourself? Come on, let's get it right. Go finish this 8th chapter. Well, 8th chapter, Abarym, they call Hebrew 8 and 2. Listen.
He is a Shamuth of the Kadash and of the Amat Mashkan, which Ma'adan put up and not eat.
See, the Mashkan that he's talking about, that's going to be a sacred place. So you need to know what we consider is sacred. Can we look at what sacred means, please? That ain't to know one individual. That's to everybody. At the end of the day, don't waste y'all time with that kind of fool. I don't have no time to wait with no folk. Listen, Yahuah got folk doing what they do. There was somebody, a man from from Benjamin that came and he began to curse Dawood. It ain't the word curse. He started to pronounce things on folk. But that curse, folk don't even know what curse is. Shut your mouth. That pronounces stuff on people. He pronounced stuff on it, and when one of the men took his sword, he was getting ready to cut his head off. That Benjamin, Dawood told him leave him alone. So Yahuah had marked him to do that. Ain't that right? He said, might be I didn't do it. He said, Yahuah might barak me for it. He said, let him curse. He said, let him go ahead and keep cursing. Leave him alone. Yahuah beating him to do Dawood. He called Dawood everything in the book. Called him all kind of dogs and how he should be cut, how he should be killed. It was bloody and everything he said. Dawood said, let him keep going. He said, Yahuah done bid him do it. Anything you're doing, Yahuah bid you to do it.
Yeah.
That's for your destruction. Later on, that same man came back and he repented to Dawood. And Yahuah too. Dawood told Shalom exactly what to do to him. Oh, what you got right quick, 5 minutes. See what that olive first, they call it King's Olive, 2 and 1. Malakym. He's so excitable. He tried to make up for Wednesday night. He didn't know what was going on. He was in the spirit deep that day, wasn't he? He just didn't have the answer. Alaph Malakym. I think it's the 2nd chapter. Let's show them. Good, and they goggling? They'll lose some spit. They'll choke to death like that. Look at 2 and 1. Listen.
And the Yamim of Dawood to move drew near.
Y'all see that? The yearning for him to die, it came near. Listen.
He charged Shamuth his being, saying,
What are you telling him?
I'm going the Ruach of all the Arats.
See that? He said, I'm going in the way of all the Arats.
You shall be strong and be a niche.
I said you should be strong and you supposed to be a man. I tell y'all to say that. I tell y'all be a man. Don't ever be no cow. Don't be no hobo. Don't be no haint. Don't be no weak, sorry retard. Be a man. Man, accept the challenging thing come when he build from and keep going. I don't blame nobody for not having me in my life. Things happen. You got to get up, be a man, and keep going. You spend the time blaming, you ain't doing nothing. Watch a man sit around blame folks all the time, see what he doing. I'm telling you, you're too busy blaming folks instead of getting, I ain't got the energy and time. I'm about something.
That's right.
Man, please, man, I'm on the grind. Folks hate me for being who I am. I don't know why they hate me, because I ain't sitting out being no whining nigga. Do we need another whining nigga? That's all we got, man. I'm saying whining, I'm talking about every race. Don't quit letting the word throw y'all. Sorry, always trying to blame folk for your sorry, piss poor life. Blame your mama, blame your dad, blame, man, so much stuff that happened, man. You can't blame everybody. When you gonna get up and do something? I get sick of that stuff. You can't blame, you can't use that your whole life. He even told us about that. They kept trying to explain, trying to justify that. Telling the father ate sour grape and their teeth were set on edge. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep using that. He said, why y'all keep using that as a martial lead? He said, no, the soul that commits sin, you the one gonna die. Quit trying to say it because of somebody else. Take some responsibility, be a man. Now about a weak, straggling man, can't stand up straight. Gay acting man, sorry, weak man, piss poor man. Watch it, they don't do nothing. They start blaming everybody else. Y'all hear every time I get up, I be blaming everybody why I can't do nothing. Where that mess at? Pull that tape. Why I blame my former pastor why I can't do nothing. How he holding me back? Nobody holding you back. You need to get to moving forward. That's what a man do. A man step up and be a man. Man stand accountable for what he done. He had to accept the challenge and mistakes he made. It go with life. It hurt, but you got to get past that point. That's being a man. Nobody know. You don't know me for how long? Yeah. When you know me, Brady, I can't hardly make it. It's somebody else's fault. They holding me back. The white man holding me back. No, Wayne never taught my kids that. I used to tell y'all, I used to teach y'all to hate white folk. White people hold y'all back.
No, now they hold us back.
Well, say the other part. They know I ain't never taught. No, I ain't never taught my kids no stuff like that. They know that. I always taught my kids the right way. Listen, I'm going in the way of all the rock. You should be strong and be a man. Come on.
Keep the charge of Yahuah, your all, to Alaph in his Dabarym, to keep his statutes,
See that? Here's what else?
his Amar,
And
his Mashpah, his testimonies.
why would he tell him that? Hands. Hands. All right. The white finna blow the doors out there. Go ahead, Dwight. That's Abraham dead. What is this? Hold on. What you got? Hold on. I got N over here. Let me see. N, what you got? What? Son, you raised your hand to say the same thing he said. Make sure I might give you a check. Go ahead. All right. You can use that. Well, for me, no, that what y'all said is correct as far as writings. But for me, I look at the Malak. The Malak had to write him a copy of this. So he ran. That's the first thing he wanted to do. He was gonna lead the people. He had to keep a copy of this.
Yeah.
Y'all know he had to say he had to have a copy. Man, to sound and write it out. Hello? The Malak was supposed to keep him a copy.
That's right.
And he was gonna shart over the people, Alahym, he was gonna rule over them people. Then he was gonna have to have him a copy. And he would know from example how Alahym would allow you to be productive. He wasn't just reciting something. He knew for himself what Yahuah do for each. I try to tell, let me tell you something. These folk can hate and do whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, Yahuah is Yukanon. 100%. When I tell y'all guys, man, y'all get him that first. Go ahead and go through the surfing of what he had to go through and watch how it bring y'all. When I'm being with y'all, I was really worried about would he do it for me? I did. I wondered because I looked at my past, all the things I did. Would he allow things to work out for me? Maybe just other people. And I was good with serving him if he didn't. But because he the Alahym he is, he wouldn't do it no other way. See, when he said, whoever man on me, he said, I won't put him to shame. I won't put him to shame. But think about what does it take to make you actually man him? It takes that. It takes the crushing, the defeat. It takes the tearing down. It takes the embarrassment. It takes the hurt. So you can see, I pick you up when other people rejected. People counted me out a long time ago. But that would be the same thing they did to Yahushua. See, the stone which the builder rejected, he let that became the head of the corner. Man, my former pastor told me one time, he said, you can be a pastor. Oh, he did. He told me that. He didn't say it like that. He said, the way you do stuff, how you just, and you say stuff to people. He spoke from being a carnal man, though. I ain't saying that to put him down for it now. I'm just saying he's spoken from him being one that he looked at what he did to get members and what he would do to keep them. And he looked at you wouldn't be able to be a pastor. He said, he told me, he said, you jump on everything. He said, you can't address everything. Let me tell you something. That man told me, he said, let me tell you something. He said, I was a principal. He said, I walked down the hall. He said, he a kid might cuss. He said, a kid said, oh, you're in trouble now. Dr. Brown, heard you cussing. He said, I just keep walking. He said, like I ain't hearing that. He said, you got to learn how to hear and don't hear. And I was just as stupid as I could be. I ain't understood that to this day. So y'all understand, I'm just a visiting preacher because I'd never be a pastor. He told me that. He said, you jump. He said, he used to give me something. He said, you can't get on everything. He said, you can't address everything. And here I was, just as stupid as I was, and I want to know, why not? Go figure. I'll never be a pastor. So I just do this visiting preacher stuff while I come here on Shabbat and Wednesdays and Shabbat day, then I go to other churches and preach. But that was exactly what he did. What he told me what he did as a principal, exactly what he did as a pastor. I would look to assume he saw stuff that I knew he saw that. And then it came back to my mind. What did he tell you? He told me that several times. He said, you have to learn how to see and don't see. For some reason, I can't catch on. I was so simple and so slow. So you see how a lot of people keep and get what they get, and they'll look at me and say, oh, you too did. You can't say that. You can't. Why can't I? If it's right, why can't I? Because that's how people typically operate. Don't bother it, leave it alone, don't address it. Y'all know we have a lot of means. Because I'm going to address it. If I catch it, I'm going to address it. And I'm saying, all right, y'all get out of the way. Come on, let's go. I got to meet. I want to address it. I can't be like that. I don't ever want to be that person. He tried to put it in me, but it won't work. See and don't see don't make sense. Y'all heard me?
Yes, sir.
See, let me show you where he got it from. 30 and 8. What book? Jahid?
YashaYahu.
30 and 8. YashaYahu, they call Isaiah. I just want y'all to understand. We're going to finish that up too. Yahuah willing. Yeah. Yahu. $30 and 8. Listen.
Now go katab it on a tablet before
Write it
him and
on the
inscribe it on a scroll.
You see what I'm going to do? He said, do it before him. And he wanted to put it on a scroll. For what reason?
That it may be for the letter Yun until long.
You see that? And he said, it's going to be for the latter time, and it's going to be forever. Then what happened?
For this is a rebellious arm, false beneath, who are not willing to shama to the Torah of Yahuah.
They're not willing to hear what the intent to do. What do they do, Lee?
Who say to the seers,
Oh, to the person that can see.
you do not see Kazum.
See, you'll never be a pastor. See, you keep addressing too much stuff. You have to learn how to see and don't see. Hear and don't hear. Can you imagine? You ain't gonna believe why this was written. It was for the latter days. When he wrote this, it came right back to my pastor told me that. Learn how to see and don't see. Learn how to hear and don't hear. Listen what I'm just reading with the book. See, who else could have had this already written? Was it for their time? No. He said it's gonna be for a lot of time. And it's gonna be forever. And what do they say to the seer?
You do not see Kazum.
What else?
And to the Nabaim,
Do what?
you do not naba to us what is Sadiq.
They don't want me to flow to them what's right. What they want me to do?
Speak to us, pleasant, Dabarym,
And he would do that. And what else?
novel illusion.
See that? Tell the people stuff that ain't even true. What happened?
Turn from the Ruach, turn aside from the path.
See that? That's what they want me to do. So people try to woo you and try to persuade. They want you to guide the path. So he told you to stand you in the Darakim and do what? And close your eyes and see and don't see. And what you supposed to ask for? Where's the what? And when you find it, what do they say? He said, also, what I said over them, telling the people to do what? Hearken to the sound of the truth. I'm crying out to these people trying to tell them. They don't want to do it. They want me to get out of the way. Listen what else they do. They want me to nobble. They want me to nobble, deceit, get out of the way. What they want me to do?
Cause the Kadash one of YashaYahu to cease from before them.
What is going to happen when I start telling lies, when I don't see? See, people say they want, you ask those people, they'll think they want to be sick. They'll think that's their friend. People think, preacher get on me all the time. How many of y'all, I probably one or two. How many of y'all I probably got on before? 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Because I expect better. You came here for a reason. Sometimes people forget why they come, because we laugh and we do have fun. We do a lot of stuff. I know people look, and I appreciate people that watch us and learn us, how we do that. But let me tell you something. Ain't nothing more important than your soul. Ain't nothing more important than your soul. Nothing. Nothing we doing, nothing we got going on more important than your soul. So I had to address some matters. I had to get on some things. I had to hurt your feelings. They do. At the end of the day, is it to kill you, destroy you, or is it to get you to see? You entrusted something to me. You entrusted something to me more valuable than any amount of money. You entrusted me with you, your wife, your husband, your kid, your future. Decisions that you make, some of them are based upon opinions that you asked me about. I said, preacher, I'm looking at this. I'm considering this. I want to do this. What's your opinion on that? What do you think about that for me? How many people y'all get that to? And not tell you the truth, and not if it get on you to get you right, because you're minded to do something. All you need is that right, wrong persuasion. You out of here like so many other people, and you can't get back. I don't see that being right. I just don't see that being right. Every one of us in here want to do well financially. Everyone want to do well in business or whatever we do. What good is that if we get it and our soul ain't right? To get what we're trying to attain, y'all, this is a hard feat. It ain't just sit here and take it. There's a lot of things go through your mind when you hear the words. Reality, everything reality. I got a bill I got to pay. That's reality. He coming back here. That bill I got to pay is a writ in front of him coming back here. If he come, he need to come for I had to pay that bill then. Because if he ain't coming, I got to deal with this. You want the truth? How many times you see Alahym? You don't. You have to entrust that all of the attributes of things around you are associated to him. He let us see him through people, but when you looking at a bill, you looking at a situation, you looking at a court date, you looking at a diagnosis, I ain't looking at no truth, talking about look at Alahym. I ain't looking at nobody I'm looking at, man, I'm dealing with cancer. I'm thinking about everybody that done died from cancer. I ain't thinking about no trees blowing, no wind. It's equivalent to no spirit. I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with as a man. Every one of us. So do you understand why I had to stay tight-knit on us? Because when you got stuff going on, it's hard to keep your mind wrapped around your salvation. And that's part of what we deal with. Don't let my people, man, don't worry about that stuff. Tell them, shut up. Just shut up. I don't even need to be talking to you. That book told you have not a Rosh Kohan that can't do what? Man, I don't study none of that stuff. Anything. Your back hurt. Man, I don't know nothing about no back hurt, man. Yahushua would have never told you that. He would try to heal it. He would want to fix it. See, that's what he wants, somebody who understand where we at. You don't need nobody that don't understand. Man, I can't understand that stuff. You see? Because he know that human part of us needs that other human care. You need human care. Don't fool yourself. I don't need nobody. I don't need it. You ain't gonna believe what I need. Who know? I need everybody. That's why I told you I don't need nobody. I need everybody. See, you heard what you want to hear. He said he don't need nobody. I need everybody. That's why I don't need nobody. I want to hear y'all repeat after me. I. You at home? I don't need nobody. Because I need everybody. Give him two of them. To everybody. Give him a glass of two everybody. We human. I mean, don't try to make your life on. Don't be crazy. Yahuah is nah. What they call it. Listen, he know what we need. He just put us in situation for a reason because he needs us to see him as greater than the bill, greater than the cancer. And the only way to do that is to put us in that situation to where you need me now, don't you? Put us somewhere where anybody can help you, is it? Your fate lies in my hands. So you'll see me differently. If I see him and then I got all this, him and I got all this, him and all this going, I'm kind of like, I kind of really look at this. You know, just stay back till I need you. First, I don't ever want you to take your hands off me. I don't ever want enough stuff that I don't need you. Even in the writings in the book of Rachal Leah, he said, man, make me too rich. You know what these folks, they forget that part. Don't let me get too much, I forget. Balaam, he forgot. How much did the man give him? How much did the man offer that he forgot? That man stood on a rock one time. When he told him, he said, listen, he said, from the top of the heart, I see him. He said, and let my last estate be as his. He said, look how Yahuah done multiplied his numbers. And he heard that, he said, what you doing? You just barak these people. I told you to curse them. He said, who can curse whom Alahym done barak? But when they offered him the right amount of money, he said, I keep a little spell or two now. I ain't all the way where I need to be now. I know it's human, but I'm just, because he went to do it. He offered him enough money, he said, he promoted him. That man said, I know a spell or two now. I ain't forgot everything. Let me give him a Ouija board. And I pull a couple of chicken bones out of their pocket. YashaYahu. That's how we do it. But see, it is human, but it's the fact of what he did. Let me tell you something. Anyone else in the room would have did it. He was a forerunner. How was he gonna know? Ain't nobody never been through that door before. There's a man on the other side of that door with a bat. John, go through that door. And you know why you hesitated? It was the truth. You know why you hesitated? Because you know now. You would have known, you'd have opened that door and went right through it. You think that man knew he was going to do that before him? Don't y'all know the stuff we found out about ourselves later? Every time doing something, oh man, it's all wrong. And later, man, I'm getting understanding, but later on is when I'm going to start doing it. Man, thing looked at the right, they say it rained. That man, what he did made sense. What he didn't do? He didn't consult Yahuah? What we say? What'd you say? Before you do anything, baby, always go talk to the Lord. Ain't that what they tell him? He did not tell them to wait right there while he go and talk to Yahuah. Go and seek counsel. See, get out your mind that you think you got this new playbook. It's only because people have made such a bad decision making, have killed them and wiped them out with this man, that now we get this opportunity to sit back and look and say, I don't even want to know if that be me. I ain't even gonna try it. I ain't even gonna try it. Think about it. Why I'm gonna try it? Because now, like I just told him, man, how much sense it made to go through that door? I know it was bad. You still think about it. What if somebody else behind that door with a bat? I just put something in mind to think about it. Otherwise, you'd have probably went. I said, John, you mind opening that door? You'd be like, okay, open it. What could possibly happen? Boom, 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 boom. Right. That's typically where we at. Had it not been for all these people who failed, who he clearly told them, listen, there is a people that's coming up. Do not curse this people because they barak. Simple, got it, locked down. When he seen him, he told the man, he said, who can curse whom Alahym have already barak? Let my last estate be as his first. He said, you just baraked him. Later on, they came back, he sent. And he sent what? They came back, he said, sent more honorable men. They offered him riches and everything. If he told him, if Beta would give me a house full of silver and gold, he said, I can't go beyond the bar, Alahym do more, do less. So if I can't do it for a house full of silver and gold, how much did they give me that I did it? How much did they give me that I actually went after it? I just told me to give me a house full of, so they came back again offering. He said, stay right here by the offering. Stay here, white. I'm gonna go back. Let me go see what he wants me to do. And when he went, he didn't like us. He didn't lie. He actually went and consulted Yahuah, and Yahuah told him what to do. He said, the man that came, he said, go with him. But I want you to say what I want you to say. Go with him. And it angered him. It angered him that he even went, because I know what I told you the first time. Go ahead and go with him. Only say what I told you. That wound up being his detriment. He learned something about himself that came to his death. You know what we learned about him? He loved the ways of Rachel. You think he knew that? Yahuah just asked me to tell some folk that these folk can't be cursed. He looking on me. Did he come talk to you and ask you to do that? Did he ask you to talk to anybody and tell him that? He told me, and then get what I found out. Something in your heart ain't right. That money move you. You start out good. I want to show you. Think about how these people found out it wasn't right. We found out we weren't right. We got opportunity to come here and get it right. Did he get a chance to get it right? And wound up working to hit the mind. That's why I appreciate it. As I tell Lynn, I tell them, that's why I love it.
That's right.
Think about it. All the stuff we found out about ourselves, did we find it out at our death? These people found it out at their death. They found out when the man said, I hate you. You think Esau laying here, I'm starving, and Canaan said, man, let me get that mic, man, for you. I said, man, give me man, let me get something. You can have this mic. This mic ain't nothing to me. That man said, I hate you. I said, for what? You gave that man that mic because your stomach, you want to eat. I'm thinking, I get the mic back. I didn't know that. You know it now, and I ain't taking it back. I hate you. So just to set up for you and I, to get opportunity to consider when somebody asks us to compromise to make a deal, this could be the deal that might end everything with us. We learning this from these people mistakes that they can never come back from.
Right.
Here we are, still in the state of repentance. The time spent you're in, this is the time of repentance. Hello? Acts 3:19 right quick. Acts of the Malakym. I'm telling you, y'all ain't got to appreciate the man. None of us, this could have been us. What happened to read your name ain't Balaam?
Right.
Why your name ain't Asu? None of us, who picked? Because we were so smart, we chose. What the Malak went up and fell down through a lattice. Oh, Acts. And what he did when he was sick? He inquired. He didn't go. He's like, just go and see. He didn't want to go. Just go and see. Am I gonna get better? I said 8 and 19. 3 and 19. Listen.
Therefore, repent and turn back for the blotting out of your kataim.
You see that? So turning back, that means I went the wrong way. You know the book talk about, it's talking about just like how they went in the way of Balaam. And that right, went away. He just told repent. Did he get to repent and turn back? Look what you getting told. He ain't get, you know who went on here then? Balaam. What do you want me to do?
Therefore, repent and turn back for the blotting out of your kataim.
That man could have just turned around and went back and said, man, I went wrong. I made a mistake. I'm gonna get this thing right. I repent. I'm sorry. I'm good. He didn't get there. You know, think of what kind of man he could have heard this. We get to hear, and you ain't gonna believe it. Go ahead, I'm saying, but he went on forwardly. You ain't gonna believe it. So did we.
Yeah.
Everything we knew was wrong after we got knowledge, we just didn't do it. We did the same thing he did. And look what we get to him. Repent and do what?
Turn back for the blotting out of your kataim.
Look at that. He said, I'd have forgave it. I'd have removed. When you block somebody that don't exist, I wouldn't even count that against you if you just come back. Listen.
In order that the yamin of refreshing might come from the presence of Yahuah, and that he sends Yahushua, HaMashiach, appointed beforehead for you.
So now, he talked about the refreshing hands. What do we find that we'll associate with that? Got the hall. Hall, what you got? Shabbat. Because the book told you that he rests and he was refreshed. Now he want to give her. He said, so when the time of refreshing to come, he gonna send Yahushua. That's who he foreordained. Y'all know that? That's him. He our rest. That's why he told her to come in all that burden, heavy laden, and guess what? That's right, that man gonna refresh us. That's what he's trying to do. Listen, sin, Kata ain't way us out. Why y'all think we had to work so hard on him? Why y'all think we scraping this man? Adam. We serving for the transgression of Adam, for the sins that he would have. He's the forerunner to show us this is what you get when you commit kata. You gonna constantly keep running. You gonna constantly keep getting. Let me tell you what happened with money. Money is almost a curse. You got to keep running to keep it. Money keep you chasing. You don't know about no money laying back. That's a lie. You know about money, they got to get it. Money don't let you lay back. Money make you chase it. Money get you to a point before you know it. You'll be like that lawyer in South Carolina. You'll kill your own wife and kids. Just start killing people. Man, before you know, you think he saw himself like that? No. He's like, man, you know, he looked at being a lawyer. A murderer need to go to jail. Just stupid and senseless. Woman kill her own kid, she need to go to prison. Then he get out of here and get money and get with the right crowd, or they might call the wrong crowd, and you start snorting a little dope. And the dope get to going and tickling your nose so much, your money can't keep up with the nose tickle. Before you know it, the only way to get some more money is to kill. My wife got a good policy on her. And my son. And my maid. Who seen me, who could tell. Because now I got to start murdering people that know. Before you know it, he sit back and that say, you know, you realize that's where you started at. You just didn't see it. That's where your life took you to. See, a lot of these, like, look at Trump. You think you're the former president of the United States. You sitting around, all you doing is going from courtroom to going in disposition and trying to lose these people, you're going to be president. You actually that stupid. You actually stupid enough to believe that when they get you for this civil suit of rape, that they're not going to take that evidence and bring you in and charge you with rape. This is never ending. You know what folks think? Trump the man. Trump got the life. He crushed them right in front of the people, the hopes of these people who think he got one. He crushed them right in the hopes of people that got one. Let them know. Nobody, for years, for all of us, these people look untouchable. If you had money, money protects you. Why is that? Oh man, rich folk get away with it. Rich folk can do anything. Can they? When Yahuah get ready, he got mosh pot for everybody. Because these people, I'm telling you what Trump's problem was. Some of us, I ain't talking about this in the room, some of us somewhere, we put our eyes on these people. You causing a fall. Because you feel like they're an elitist. They untouchable. Nobody untouchable. Yahuah can touch everybody. Y'all got it? Make us consider. Look, as bad as your life might seem to you, you won't want his life. Every dime you get, they're investigating, they're chasing. All you get is $7 million fine. $1 million a day if you don't show up to court. How many days can you stay out? That Joe got it behind, right back up there. They just said, don't worry about it. $1 million for every day you don't come. It ain't taking about 6 days. He said, time to go. He said, I can't fake that no. And then you get your supporter be stupid enough to pay the bills. But think about it. That's still money out your pocket. There ain't money in your pocket. Everything you get, you having to give it away. So how good is your life? I ain't just using Trump. I don't want to make this about Trump. I just want to use as an example of how we put our eyes on people and things and we forget. Alahym is decided for everybody, for the rich and the poor. He working in people's lives that don't even acknowledge it. Okay, you don't believe it. So how was you living before you got this now? How was you existing before you got this now? Did you got born the day you heard this? Let you know he was looking out for you, keep you. Either to destruction or to salvation. That's the only two reasons to keep you. Keep you for fuel for the fire. Or he keep you because he going to convert you. There's only two reasons to keep you. Either you're going to be converted or you're going to be fuel for the fire. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I know y'all tired. Let's finish that 8th chapter. I'm going to let y'all go. I talked long now. Figured to talk anyway. I thought I'd come in and talk right quick. We'd be out of here. But this ain't my mouth, it's his mouth. He let me talk long as he want me to get us right. Somebody out there need to get this too. I know in him we need to get it, but folks out there need to get it. And I want you to get it. These people deserve it. There's some people out there that are mourning this man and they deserve it. He gonna grant it to you too. Isn't that right? You just gotta be when you get it. Don't fall asleep. Don't put your eyes on these people. You're gonna mess up.
Right.
Man told me that years ago, and I held on. He told me, he said, don't put your eyes on these people now. He like, I can't look around. I said, man, these folks saved. I said, man, I won't be saved. All these folks saved. Well, you start in them folks, you start in that conversation, and they start out the right way. All of them start right. They do something, you look, they know you said. They said, I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna tell you about me. I run my house. You there? Trying to figure out where that went. I didn't ask you about who run your house. No, they let you, they go on that, you know. It always be something they know. You saw something, they know you saw, they want to make sure you understand. I run my house. You gotta know how to separate the man from God. When you hear that right now, guess what? That'd be my last time. Folks try to figure, why you stop? I learned it. I wouldn't come back to your house. We're done. I already know where it's going. You were never gonna pull me in with. When I cut that conversation, I know what you're thinking. I run my own house. See, you gotta know how to separate the man from God. Interesting. People had that little conversation. Oh, they'll pull on it before you watch them. They don't tell y'all that. They done something. They trying to let you know. They trying to act like I'm just, see, on my own. Watch them.
Yeah.
Watch them own men. Because the book say you're not your own, you bought with a price.
That's right.
So when you start talking, you don't say, we know, oh, I ain't talking about that. No, you talking about it.
Yep.
Isn't that right? Because you should be able to do what you want to do.
Right.
Now, if you bought with a price, you're not your own.
Right.
All right, come on, finish this up. This is 8 and 3 of the book of Abarym. Yahuah willing, we'll try to finish this up tomorrow. Go ahead.
For every Gadol, Kohan is appointed to offer both Baraka and Zabak.
I hear that? Every great one he put up, look what they offer. Listen, appointed to offer both gifts and sacrifices. Come on.
Therefore, it is of necessity that this one also has something that he offered.
That makes sense. Listen.
Behold, if there was no Kohan on the Arats,
What happened?
he should not be a Kohan.
Hold on. That's different than how it reads when I was talking about if there would be no need for him if we had one. This one said if there was no Kohan on the alarm, on the Arats, he should not be a Kohan. Sense?
There are those who offer the Baraka here according to the Torah.
Okay. With this, because he's saying what I'm saying what he's supposed to say, but just the way he worded, he said it. Okay. So behold, if there was no Kohan on the alarm, on the Arats, he should not be a Kohan, since there are those who offer the Baraka, the gifts, here according to the Torah. I ain't trying to figure that one out. You see how the Greeks write it, how we typically hear it. He's writing it to kind of say that, but it's just the way he put it together. If therefore he were on the alarm, he would not be a Kohan, being the one offering according to the Torah, the gifts, because we already had people operating at capacity. Okay, go ahead.
Who serve a copy and shadow.
So we know what a copy is, example. Hello, and a shadow. Where we learn that from? Hands. Copy, shadow, hands. Can't have had his tell me. Who the Torah? The Torah's shadow. No, I would have looked at Adam and Yahuah. That's all he was a copy. Cause he said, let him have. He said, make him in our image and our likeness. Who? The archetype, which is just short for a prototype. Archetype would be the same, just like a prototype. They use archetype as much. That's what he was, a copy. Basically, all Adam was a copy, because he just told him, said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. So basically what we're doing, we're copying from us. Y'all got it? A shadow is just a reflection off of the image. So all Adam was the reflection of the image. Y'all got it? So you got to remember, Alahym was a Ruach. Yahushua being the flesh, so he made this man a copy. So he resembled both. Y'all got it? In fashion. Being found in the fashion as a man, in the Ish. Isn't that right? And we learn that being the fashion at Ish. We learn the Ish body that we learn, the man body we learn from Yahushua, we actually learn from Adam. How we know what the, come on, a man's son? He the first one we saw. Hello? Oh, this man carried a status that, listen, I mean, you kind of, well, no, well, I guess you couldn't say that, but then, I mean, he was what we knew and we learned was the first ben of Alahym. So it made sense why he had so much kaboot upon it. Come on, everything was given to the first, right? So it made sense of why things happened the way they did. That the kaboot was unto him. Look, he was given the Malkut the same way we look at with yeah, turn around, Joe. You already can't see. Burnt the little piece of eyelid you got left up. So now we start looking at why so much was given to him. Because Adam, the firstborn. Y'all got it. So it was given to him. He had a Malkut. It was given to him. Everything was made subject to him. So we understood that just like we understood about the Ben. Hello?
Sure.
Think about it. Adam was given the ability to be able to name. And then Yahushua came along and told Cuff that his name was, he told Shimon his name was what? He let him know that. Just like Adam, I had the ability to be able to name.
That's right.
Isn't that right? He gave it to him. He gave names to all.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
So,
So he gave him a name, let him know what his name was. He could name him. All this he gave. So when Yahushua came, it was important for him to send a forerunner first, so we understood that pattern, so we understood how he operated. Hello?
so,
We understood Adam being the Ben of Alahym. Did we see him come out from Alahym? But we knew that Alahym had prepared and Alahym had set him and established him. And that's what he wants to understand about him. Okay? So we got to look at the copy. Okay? So anyway, who serve a copy and shadow and the things that are in the Shemaims. Okay? Just as
Musha was warned by Alahym when he was about to erect the Mashkan.
do what?
For see, he says to you that you make all things according to his pattern, which was shown you on the heart.
See that? He want to do everything after the pattern that was shown. Same thing that Ish got to do. We're trying to do now. We're trying to pattern what was shown to us on the heart. Yahushua. He told you to behold his Abar, his servant. He should be a stove. He should be high. He should be very high. So we try to, why we can't do that? He says to you that you make all things according to his, which was shown you on the, wow. They told those that looked, those that waited, those that watched, they knew it was Yahuah. So these are the things that we start to look at. So we look at, he set a pattern for us. Hello?
Sir.
Okay, come on.
But now he has obtained a more excellent shower, as much as it is a better ryth that he is the mediator of it, which was established upon better Shabbat and benefit.
See that? But now he has obtained a more excellent ministry, as much as it is a better Berit covenant, that he is the mediator, someone that settles, solves a dispute in the middle of it, which was established upon better promises and benefits. Okay, because we ensured with him coming in. Think about what he gave us. Look at the benefit of what we get in now, based off what they have. This is not better than what they have. That's what he's trying to tell you. Come on.
For if that first ryth had been faultless, there should no Malcolm have sought for the second.
See that? Yeah, what we're gonna mimic? Hands, 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 hands. That's tight. That's tight. Hands, hands, hands. This gonna be tight. To think what I'm thinking. I don't think y'all gonna do it, but let's try it. Who hands up first? Behind hand. Let's get somebody we ain't had. You did pretty good tonight. You did good. Kerry, we ain't got you. Are we gonna have any problem with you? 7:30 around now. You gonna take a shot at this? All right, what you got? He broke the first tablet. Had to go get another. Everybody's why he laughing.
I got two things.
He got two things going on. So with him talking about ranking one, everyone else, I just all right. Ian, what you got? Adon in the garden. Now this is what you're using. For if the first Abarym had been, there should no place have been sought for the second. Stop for a second. I want y'all to think. What was written aforetime? What was it written for? I learned. Okay, pay attention. Pay attention to this. For if the first Abarym had no defect. We agree? There should no place have sought for the, okay, there's a reason. I told y'all this. His hand up, I got hands in here. Y'all can go to the hall and go to the hall. I ain't got you. Anybody else in the hall? They got their hand up. Hey, well, stick your head in here and give that wrong answer. Hey, Dave, you that baseball bat. I'm gonna go around. You just raise your hand. I didn't get the bin. Who else I got? Oh, Ernie. That's a new one. What you got, Ernie? You're exactly right. Finally, somebody caught on. Finally, somebody caught you. How many of y'all don't get that? Everybody got it. You're cold with his 2 wives. That's the exact answer I want. Think about it. The book told you about the 2 wives he had. It told you that Leah she was easy on the eyes, but it told you about Rachal. She had a banging body. So he saw the second one because he looked at the first one. He saw a defect. He said she looked good, but her body wasn't as good as the second one. You see that? Listen, you're a man. Listen, he could look at her face, but he saw there was some flaws. So guess what he did? He sought for the second one. That's why he looked for Rachal. It told you that she was good looking and her body was devastating. Well, it was a beautiful body. I'm saying a devastating because he probably throwed it back out. They said he was limping from that, he was from wrestling that Malakym. She knows what she's doing though, boy. Now, so now, this is what we're trying to use, okay? Does it make sense? What, let's see, that should be what, 30 what? 29 Barashit. Is it the 29th chapter? 29, 28. That was 28 and 1. Barashit 28 and 1. Let's see something. See, this is why people mess up, because they don't want to see it the way he give it to you, so you understand it. Got it? It's gonna drop down 28 and what? 29, 17. 29. 29. Borrow sheep for those listening, they'll call it Genesis. Give me 15. I want they should think he know too much. Him in blue level. 29, 15, listen.
Then Laban said to Yaakov, "Are you not my ox?
See that?
Should you serve me for nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what shall your wages be?"
Now let me say this. This is why you were taught about sending a person out based off of this. This wasn't even written in your Torah yet. That's why he looked at you finna sit here, you finna serve me for something. Then tell me what you want. I'm gonna make sure you get it at the end of your service. See, that's why we were taught this, and that's why I told you how long he served. How long did they tell her he served for Leah? I mean, for how long? No, first it told you for 7. Mm-hmm. That's why you came in when you learned about your year release. Mm-hmm. That's how you start learning, because after 7 years, he's supposed to been let go. That's right. You wind up in the 7th year, you're supposed to let him go. So that's why he looked at see, all this was predicated on what they were doing. These people were forerunners. That's how we knew how to do a person right after we got through and we let them go. You don't realize your job, they make you serve 35 years where they give you a wide, they give you a benefit, because they're learning from your book. They just ain't gonna get you in 7 years. Okay, go ahead.
Now Laban had 2 Banu.
He had 2 Abarym.
Banu.
Abarym. Go ahead.
The Shem of the older was Leah, and the Shem of the younger was Rachal.
Representing what? First. All right. One was old. Remember, they call it the Old Testament. Go ahead.
And Leah's own were weak, but Rachel was beautiful of form and beautiful of appearance.
So let's see what happened.
Now Yaakov, Ahab the fall. So he said, I shall serve you 7 young Shana.
That's how we know. That's right.
For your younger Bob Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Laban said, it is better that I give her to you than to give her to another Ish.
Mm-hmm.
That is me.
Go ahead.
So Yaakov served 7 Shanim for Rachel.
Yes.
And they were in his womb like a few Yamin
See that?
because of his Ahab for her.
See that? Go ahead.
Then Yaakov said to Laban, give me my Asham, for my Yamin is completed,
Mm-hmm.
that I may go in to her.
Mm-hmm.
Laban gathered all the Anashim of the Malkum and made a Muhad.
Did it say Muhad or Kage? Which one? Okay. I missed it. All right. Go ahead.
And it was in the evening,
Miss it.
he took his wife, Leah, and brought her to him, and he went in to her.
Mm-hmm.
Laban also gave her his maid, Zilpah, to his wife, Leah, as a maid.
Mm-hmm.
So it came about in the morning that behold, she was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is
What ugly woman doing here? None of it saying.
What is this?
Come on, he was black. What y'all think he said? So she ain't only ugly, she blind. Go ahead.
What is this you have done to me?
Mm-hmm.
Was it not for recall that I served with you? Why then had you deceived me?
Come on.
But Laban said, it is not done this way in our Malkum to give the younger before the firstborn.
See that? Y'all say it there? Go ahead.
Complete the week of this one, and we shall give you the other one also for the service which you shall serve with me, yet another 7 shanim.
So now you can see what happened. He found fault with the first one. But see, that's why when the Torah, that's when he asked you in what we call the New Testament, he said that the first one had been, then it should have been no need to seek for the second one. So now you got a better understanding why. Because he saw some defects. She wasn't terribly ugly. He just saw there was some defect. He saw the second one looked a whole lot better. And he could see it didn't have the defects that the first one had. Y'all see what happened?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go ahead and go back over what we had right quick. 8th chapter of the book of Abarym, they call Hebrews 8 and 7. Listen.
For if that first ryth had been faultless,
So we're gonna call it Leah, won't we? Then what happened?
there should no Malkum have sought for the second.
For recall. He would have had no reason to get recall had Leah had no defects or had no faults in his own. Y'all got it? So him seeing the defects in Leah was Yahuah seeing what? The defects in us. There you go. Or in our fathers. Come on.
For he said, in finding fault with them here,
Oh, finding fault with the Torah? With the Abarym? No, finding fault with them, us. I found fault with you. Come on.
behold, a Yamin come, says Yahuah, when I shall conclude with the bet of YashaYahu and with the bet of Yehuda a new Barit.
See that? This one went calm until I concluded with this one. Okay? So what do we wind up seeing? He wound up having to work another 7 years before he can get the second one. He had to conclude his weeks. He told him to complete his weeks, then he can get the second one. So the whole time while he had her, he still had to work to get the second one. He was working toward the second one. He had to complete his weeks that they call years. You know, they use the terminology weeks. You go in Daniel in the King James perversion, and then they'll call it in 7, they'll call it weeks, which is actually talking about years. Okay? So now, this is what we're doing. For he says, in finding fault with them here, behold, the Yamin come, says Yahuah, when I shall conclude with the house of or the Beth of YashaYahu and with the Beth of Yehuda, a new Barit. See that? There's 2 of them. Who we got? 7 years. 7 years. When you count the timeline when Yahushua came, it was giving it to you in 14s.
Right.
Because he worked 7 years for the first one and 7 for the second. Then he still had to stay and keep working. He found out he was still stuck there. That's why he gave him the 20-some years. He did not work 20-some years for both the women. Okay? So you see how important it was in our Torah about 7 years letting him go. And in the 15th year being a Jubilee. The man worked for both of them. What he said, the day gonna come and conclude with these two. I'm gonna set a new beret. Okay? Let's go ahead. Come on.
Not according to the Berit, which I made with their abode on the Yom when I took them by the hands to lead them out of the Arats of Mizraim,
Mm-hmm.
because they broke my Berit,
See that?
and I neglected them, says Yahuah.
See that? I'm not neglecting them. Because they didn't keep their part, they're not neglecting them. Y'all know what neglect is? They'll get a child, haven't been fed, haven't been clothed, haven't been taken. They said this is nothing but neglect. He left us out there. He let us know because the Baruch were broken. He said, I left you to neglect. Come on.
For this is the Berit that I shall make with the Beth of Yasharal after those Yamim,
See
says
it?
Yahuah.
Go ahead.
I shall put my Torah among them.
See that? That's why Yahushua was him. He said, I'm going to put my Torah among them. We saw him. He was the Torah. It told you that the bar became flesh. And you don't believe what it did. I put it among them. But see, at first I had to conclude what I was doing. Come on.
And I shall katab them on their law.
See that? Before what he wrote a man, Karen? That's tight. The man just said, he said, that's 745-ish answer. That's right. So it makes sense, see, because he's looking at where the fault came. I wrote him before, it was nowhere where to stabilize. I put it on stone. Now I need to put it in the inward part. I need to get where it convicted. It don't convict nobody writing that on no rock. That's crazy. He said, I got to put it in their hearts. I got to get in their inward parts. Okay? Go ahead.
And I shall be to them as Alahym,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall be to me as a own.
You see that? He's saying, I shall be to them as Alahym. That's how we recognize Yahushua. Even with Timotheus, they call Thomas, they call Tamus. They come and call him that. He told them, after he thrust their hand inside, he said, my Alahym. And my done. He recognized, he said, I'm going to be to them as Alahym, and they shall be to me as an arm, and be for me for strength. Y'all got it. Listen to what he said.
And they shall lament no more every one his fellow citizen,
Uh-huh.
and every one his ox, saying, no Yahuah.
So y'all do that stuff. I don't be letting folks try to, I don't believe these people. He just told you, ain't letting these bastards try to teach me nothing. He said, no more gonna have people sitting around. These folks just go, hey man, let me come to your house, you just study. You won't come to my house, but study, be quiet. No, go find any of them group, do that, all of them off. Because everybody reading their own interpretation. He told me not doing that. He said, no more, we ain't gonna have that food. Nobody running around just trying to teach. Everybody trying to grab somebody trying to teach them. Hey, John, man, you get together. We're gonna teach together. Ray, you and you think we all gonna come to the same man? We come back in. Ain't no way in the world we can speak the same thing. That's why he stopped the community, stopped what we're doing. Everybody need to speak the same thing. So it won't be no division among us. Come on.
For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest of them.
See that? That's the way he set up for us. And I appreciate Mr. Yahuah for what he done, for giving us this opportunity. That's two.
Sure.